In season 1, the show was all about how do you win at capitalism? What does it take to be on top of that? This season promised how do you beat capitalism? How do you like subdue it? How do you kill it? How do you stop it? That's what Ji-hun was trying to do. That was the mission, and he doesn't complete that.
I'm really disappointed. I really feel like I wasted. When did season 2 come out? Like, it's just a waste of time up until this point.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast. My name is Alvin.
I'm Jess.
And today we're going to be talking Squid Game Season 3. That's it. That's the finale.
Because the end of the show makes me think that there's going to be a little bit more,
Squid
Games, America, Squid Games, Love Island, Love is Blind season, South Africa, Squid Game. Yes.
Nope. This is it. This is the last. It's promoted as the final season. And that's all we're going to get, guys.
I mean,
we don't
it was
want
promoted
any more.
as season 3, but it was,
They were also saying the final season. So it's got to be the final season.
I can't wait for Squid Game America.
We're going to be talking Squid Game Season 3.
Why do you look like that?
Because this is probably the most stressful watch that I've had in a while. I can't count. I really can't count the amount of times I literally threw my hands in the air from all the frustration, because we binge watched this overnight. Like the Friday that it dropped, we ate it all.
Yeah. And
each episode just progressively got more frustrating and more infuriating. By the end of it, I was just like, thank God this is over. I hope it stays over. But I don't feel like it will.
Yeah.
Based on what you just said. So spoiler alert, guys, I didn't like this very much. I don't know. For me, by the end of the show, it just confirmed my worst fear, which was I knew we should not have gone beyond season 1. I liked what we got in season 1. I liked where we left off. I don't know. Yes, there was potential for a sequel, but I don't know. I just felt like it did everything it needed to in season 1. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if this is the writing that we're getting for your finale, then yeah, there was really no point in revisiting this world.
Is it because you feel hopeless and there's no point?
That's part of it.
That's part of it?
That's a huge part of it.
Okay.
And then it's that, and then it's also where they take the characters. They take them all in very disappointing routes. Mm-hmm. Nothing felt satisfying. It felt like as bleak as when I finished Last of Us 2. That's as depressed as I felt, and I don't like that. I did not enjoy this season. This new story as a whole had so much potential to be something very interesting.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, man. I think this goes back to what I read on the showrunner's comments about saying that he was coming back to this show, but he never had any intention of going beyond the first season.
Yeah.
And and that's just the comical irony of the commentary that this show makes on capitalism, and then how the creator, it feels forced to have to come back to this because he was in financial debt even after season 1's success, because he got a shit deal from Netflix, and Netflix was like, hey buddy, guess what we need right now? Come on, season 2, let's go.
That looks like 4.
There might be 4, I don't know. And yeah, the only reason he came back is because he had to pay off his debts from making the first one. So it just, that adds another layer of just depression on this depression sandwich that is Squid Game. But I will say the games, I'll go into positives right now. The games are really good. They never fail with the games. Yeah. I think each season tops the previous season's games. I don't know. How did you feel about the games that we watched overall?
I feel like these games were... is it weird if I say that they were a little more intense? Because
they were.
There was something. I think it's because I care about the characters.
Yes.
This season,
they did a good job with that.
I'm thinking back to season 1, and I didn't really. I don't think there's anybody I can remember caring about except for the main character.
Okay.
And the girl, but she dies in season 1.
Yeah.
But not like this group. This was a good, wholesome group, and everybody's gone, and I just can't.
Spoiler alert.
I don't care anymore. Everybody's gone. It's just I think this season was very entertaining for me, but it was also just disappointing. Like you said, it's just I don't like the direction of the characters went in. It just feels pointless and hopeless, and then that's why I'm just like, why did we get season 2 and 3?
Like, are you just trying to be mean-spirited to us? Because guess what? You succeeded.
I feel like it's some hurt. Of that, and then I feel like it's some of like he's like, I have to end this. Like I have to
make sure I never come back to this shit again.
Yeah, but then we'll get into it more. But at the end, it doesn't seem like it ended.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think my, I feel like I'm mostly just not happy with it because of how I feel. Like emotionally, I feel I'm hurt. Yeah. I'm like mourning. I'm disappointed for my characters. But it was entertaining, which is very conflicting and just confusing emotions. So
definitely.
I wish this never happened.
I wish the second sequel series never happened.
I wish it never happened.
Yeah, that's my feeling too.
You know, Ji-hoon could have just walked away with the red stupid hair and never returned to my screen again. I would have been fine.
Why don't we jump into the first game that we watch, which is, it's called Keys and Knives, which honestly is just hide and seek. But they needed to make it very specific because one team gets a dagger and then the other team gets boo-boo keys. And they have to go look for exits in a maze.
Yeah.
That was probably the most intense game of this season for me. And that was just the starting one for this portion of the season. Mm-hmm. I love the way that it was filmed, the way that it just like has these over-the-shoulder camera shots of following players. You're seeing people get murked in the background while somebody in the foreground is just like fumbling with their keys.
Yeah.
And you just don't know who's going to get got. Love the tension that they set up with that. It just... They did that with every game, but this one in particular just made it so especially excruciating because the rooms look cute.
Yeah.
The ceilings are colored in like this night sky type of thing with very bright luminescent colors. And each room you go into looks very cute. It's like walking into like an escape room.
Yeah, they have all the like little cuts up of crafts and little papers making animals and butterflies and flowers.
Yeah. It's like you stepped into kindergarten or something.
Yeah, like a deadly ass kindergarten.
It messes with me. Like the cuter they make the sets, the more horrifying the game becomes.
Yes.
So we're seeing people getting killed left and right, and Ji-hoon is out for blood. He spends his time just in a drunken stupor. He's like not talking to anybody. He stays handcuffed to his bed every time in between games. And then he decides he's going to go after Dae-hun, that fucking asshole that pretended that he went to the Marines, that couldn't collect the damn mags.
Oh my God.
Could not bring himself to bring the magazines. I know in the last review I said that the rebellion plan was kind of stupid. I retract that a little bit. That was the only way to beat the games. You have to kill the people that are involved in making this.
Yeah.
And they had a shot at this. I don't know if it would be a guarantee if Dae-hun brought the ammunition back, but it would sure freaking help a lot if they had more ammo.
I think, yeah.
So I was just as pissed as Ji-hoon, honestly. I'm like,
yeah,
you know
when
what?
he found out, when they were just like, yeah, you know, it's not Tall Girl's fault. You know, the guy, he literally froze up. And oh my God, when Ji-hoon saw him and was just staring at him, would not stop staring at him. And I was just like, is he really going to kill him? Is that really who he is? Because
that was pretty wild, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was
way out of character.
Him to feel that way, but also I feel like they would have had like some sort of shot. They would have got further. Something. I don't know. Just something. Because he went in with the help of the detective or the cop guy.
Yeah.
So they were working together. I'm like, if he could have like sent a signal, called him, whatever have you, then maybe things would have been different. And this idiot, oh, I want to be cool. Like,
I wanted people to like me.
Do you not know where we are and
this
what's
was your
going
chance
on?
for people to like you. We already liked you. You could have just...
You liked him?
Dae-hun? I liked him up until he betrayed everybody. I was suckered into that character for a while.
Suckered you were. I was so
I kept calling him
with
anime protagonist. That was my nickname, shonen anime protagonist.
He's annoying. And then he was throwing in Gi-hoon's face, oh yeah, it's your fault. It's your...
Wild. Wild.
Oh my God, I'm so bad.
So were you rooting for Ji-hoon to get his revenge on
I didn't care
Dae-ho?
who killed this guy. I just wanted him dead.
Damn. That's fair. I get that feeling. I get that feeling.
Because he really... You said you were something that you weren't, and it was something that would have been very useful. Like Tall Girl, she's useful.
You keep calling her Tall Girl.
Because she's a girl and
Hyunju is
she's
what we're
tall.
talking about.
She's a girl and she's tall.
Yeah.
And she can fight. She has experience.
She was actually in the military.
Actually in the military, my guy. Like, come on. So she was useful.
Yeah.
She proved
Dude, she
that.
threw hands in this game too.
I loved it. I loved it. Like,
She
people
continues to
weren't.
throw hands.
People had knives, and they said, "You know what? I didn't see you here. I'm going the other way." We'll get into that. Yeah, but I really can't. I didn't care how he died, who killed him, whatever. He was in the wrong, and I felt like they could have still failed. They could have still failed.
But at least they would have tried and given it their all.
Tried.
Yeah, and he fumbled that really hard.
I also feel like that's also what Ji-hoon is feeling as well too. Is like, we will never know, and
they'll never get that shot again.
Yeah, his friend died too. Like, his closest friend died at the end of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand why he has this rage. But at that point, I was like, I don't care who gets this guy. Especially because now he's throwing in Ji-hoon's face that this is your fault. I was like, no, you got to go.
I had mixed feelings on Ji-hoon going after Dae-ho because on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, I feel like you do deserve this. Like, I'm mad at you, and I feel moments of like, I want you to get your comeuppance. But then at the same time, I'm thinking about Ji-hoon's character, and I'm just like, like you mentioned, I don't feel like this is within his character. No matter how angry he is, I feel like it just bastardizes his character and what he set out to do, which is to go and save people and to make sure that no one's ever hurt by these games again. I was honestly hoping for a moment of them reconciling with each other, even though that's a huge, tall ask. But I feel like his character, no matter how angry he got, I feel like he would have tried to at least understand and then maybe still be like, listen, I want to give you a chance. Will you still help me try to get out of here? We never get that moment. He ends up really like choking this guy out to death. Yeah. And he sees the lights leaving this dude's eyes, and he almost takes his own life too, which I'm just like, okay, we're taking him to a really, really dark place. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know what we're doing with this man right now, but I wasn't a fan. Like,
I don't like this turn for him. And I also wonder if it's because after the soldiers bring him back to the room with everybody else, you remember he's coming back to a room where everybody that he left with is basically dead, almost everybody, and more than half the room pressed the circle to stay in the game, and then we have this little bit of people who didn't want to stay in the game. Most of them, it seems like most of them were honestly women. I know there's some women on the blue side who want to stay, but most of them were women, the pregnant girl, the old lady, people who are just scared shitless, who really want to leave the games, but these people won't let them. Yeah. It seems like a lost cause, to the point where when they were voting after this game, he didn't even vote. He wasn't voting.
Yeah, he kept forfeiting his vote.
After the last game he didn't even vote. I was just like... Yeah.
It also wouldn't have mattered, though, because they would have lost by majority.
But
still.
You just see how, like, broken and defeated he, like, is, to the point where he's just like, I'm not even going to vote. I'm not going to try to give any pep talks or convince anybody or anything. Yeah. And honestly, the people on the other side, they are people that aren't worth saving. And yeah, I mean, we're going to, like, I'm going to keep repeating that, and we're going to get into that. But at this point, he failed. Even before we get to the very end, he failed at going back into this game, which was already stupid, and trying to save all these people. And it just, like, time and time again, they weren't worth saving. I feel like maybe in like season 1, when we first were introduced to it, I can see why people kept saying, yes, let's stay in the game when they voted. Yeah. But these people, they're not even just desperate. They're
sociopaths.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like those people from season 1, they were desperate, and I can understand it. I still did not agree with it. I'm just like, cut your losses and leave. Yeah. Literally, you're dying. You can die.
And these are greedy people that we're dealing with. These are gambling addictions. That's basically what we're
Which is
seeing.
Interesting, because I'm like, is it like every time they have a game, what kind of group do you get? Do they recruit a certain type of people? Because these people are greedy and desperate, but the greed outweighs the desperation. I feel like it's not desperation anymore. It's not like it really is like
they have
people,
enough.
The
prize is enough.
The prize is enough, and I feel like if they weren't in this game, this is just how they would also be out in the real world too.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, they would be struggling because of financial debt, but they would also just be awful people at any chance they get. Season 1's people, I felt like they were really just like in poverty, down and out, like can't get a chance, and they were desperate that way. But this group, and I said, you came back and you didn't even know who you were actually going to be helping.
At this point, we're seeing that these people just want to continue to play. So I get that Ji-hun is just self-defeatist and then even takes his revenge because he just feels like, what is the point?
Yeah.
That's like the start of the downfall of this character. I mean, he comes back to his roots eventually in the games, but yeah, I think that set the tone for how bleak this show was going to get. I didn't expect for how far it was going to go until we see Hyun-ju's death. Our favorite tall girl. that is the death that honestly really set me over the edge. And at that point, I was like, I feel like the show is just going to go downhill at this point. Like, you're going to kill the one transgender girl here. And I'm not saying that queer people should be like exempt from getting killed in media. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. But because there's been such a trend of queer characters dying in pop media, specifically in America.
Yeah.
I'm very, I myself am not a queer person. I feel like I'm coming off as like, I'm so sensitive to this, but it's like, this is such an awesome fucking character. There was already enough backlash with the fact that they didn't cast a trans woman, or at least a cisgender woman. But now on top of that, you're going to kill this fucking character. You're going to take her away from us. You're going to take away our Hyun-ju, our tall girl.
I know.
After all that she's gone through, like, I feel like the show was punishing her specifically for consistently being a good person. And then Ji-hun as well. He consistently is punished every time he tries to help and tries to make a community and try to get these people out. When Hyun-ju died and got killed by that piece of shit loser crypto bro that has a baby on the way.
Oh yeah, the baby daddy.
I was just like, man, you count your fucking days. I'm going to jump into this screen right now and I'm going to join the next game and I'm going to make sure I push you, stab you.
No reason. There was no reason. And it's funny how that whole thing went, because when this game started, the game Keys and Knives, or we'll just call it hide and seek, when it started, you saw the older lady, the mom, and then the pregnant woman. They were kind of just standing at the entrance, just like not knowing where to go, what to do.
Yeah.
And tall girl comes back. Hyun-ju comes back, and she's like, "Let's go."
I got the keys.
She's gonna be carrying this team. I'm like, shit. I mean, the older lady, she's like pretty good. Like, she moves around and she's very helpful and stuff. God, we're not there yet. But then the pregnant girl, she breaks her ankle basically, or she sprains, or I don't know what the hell broke it. That looks broken.
Yeah, it's like sprained, broken, one of the two. Seriously injured.
Worse throughout the game. So
it gets zombified. Yeah.
Not only that, she gives birth. She ends up having to, get that baby out right there. I'm like, this is the worst time to do this right now.
That was crazy.
It really was. And the whole time, Hyun-ju, she's basically fighting off these other players.
Yeah, the taggers.
The ones with the knives. And she has to fight one guy off. And then that's when, what's her name? 222 breaks her ankle, basically. And I was like, we're not getting anywhere. I was defeated right then in that moment. Yeah. Then she goes into labor. I was just like, there's no way. I was like, but then maybe her baby daddy's going to find and help them. No.
Nope. His idea of helping is killing as many people as possible because, one, he claims that he's doing this so that there's less opponents going after Junhee. But really, he talks to his partner, I forget his name, Thanos' little friend. Thanos' little friend. He realizes, well, I can keep increasing the money pot if I keep killing people. Yeah. Instead of just take your fucking win and just go. Stop causing problems. And of all people, he had to go after Hyun-ju.
Do you think he would have got penalized for killing, I think it was player 124 that he was with, the little Thanos wannabe? Do you think he would have got penalized for killing him in the game?
Well, yeah, because you shouldn't be going after other taggers. It's only people on the blue side. So those are the victims that they require.
I'm like, couldn't you have just gotten, like, just tell him I'm not fucking with you anymore and just leave? And he didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he would have been penalized if he killed his own teammates.
Because it was just like, you made a promise to your baby mama, and now you are here
kill her friend, And you put her at risk because Hyunju has been carrying this team
yeah.
and protecting these two.
She had just came back from basically fighting off somebody else again. And that's when she found the exit to the maze. And she was just like, she went back. The way they did that, though, I felt like she would have came back, went inside and not locked the door, but like stayed at the door and told him, like, I found the exit. Let's gather everything up, the baby, and let's go. But the way they wrote it was she just peeks in the door and she's like,
has her back turned to the hallway like an idiot.
Like that's not her.
You're a soldier.
She's a soldier. And the whole time they were in the maze, they were up against the wall, pause, peek, all that stuff. And I know a lot was going on in the hallway, but a lot was going on around them when the game started.
More reason to be away from the hall.
And I just felt like, what is this? Is it the shock of finding the exit or what? I felt like they just did that just to do it. So that's why that was disappointing, because she finds the exit, puts all the key in, opened the door, and she's about to step through. And I was just like, as soon as she stopped and she thought about it, I was like, you're going to die. She's going to die. I'm going to be so upset. I was just like, you're too good of a person. I know she's going to go back. There's no way she's just going to leave them.
Right.
And then this is her downfall. And I just felt like they took out some of the sense that she had the whole time.
For this dramatic moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what's his face? The baby daddy's like, oh, yeah, no one's here. And I just got this one. And I just...
Fuck Myung-ji. We all hate Myung-ji out here.
He is the worst. To the very end, he's the worst.
Yep.
But that was not how I was expecting. As soon as she died, I just felt like I don't even give a shit about the show anymore.
Yeah, that's basically how I felt. That was like the biggest arm throw that I've done.
Because
during the viewing.
I instantly thought, I said, if you kill her, I feel like you're going to kill everybody else that we care about. And I was just like, Gi-hun's going to be walking out of this game again alone by himself. Yeah. So I was like, at this point, I don't even care, because his whole purpose was to come there and save everybody. Mm-hmm. Now we have a group that we care about. Save them. We're not going to get that. She's dead.
That was probably the worst death that I've experienced in this show ever. She was really one of my most favorite characters ever. And for her to die like that, it really just, I don't feel like it added anything narratively. It really just felt like a punishment for us as fans, just to make us feel icky and gross and just depressed, because it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
She's only like the first in the domino set. And that leads to the old lady and the new mother trying to get out of there. And then we see that the mother's piece of shit, useless little gambling addicted son shows up after like a whole episode of struggling to find somebody to kill.
I know, he had somebody, but then he almost got his ass beat by them, and then somebody else with a knife came and killed, and then he passed. And
I can respect that. I respect the fact that killing is hard. That is not in so many regular people's nature.
Yeah.
But of all the people that you were going to attempt it on, why would you do it to the new mother?
Yes. But I also feel like in the last season, he did not fight back when he got snatched up away from his mom when they were playing that game. Happen. He let that happen. So I was just like, I don't care what happens to him. He's weak.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that after that, and like the way he promised his mom, like, like, I'm going to get my shit together. Like, you're going to have to lock in, because look at everything that's going on around you guys. I know it cannot be easy, but he's just a disappointment always. I feel so bad for him.
He gets lectures from everyone, including his own mom, and still he cannot fucking lock the fuck in. Instead, he thinks, I'm just going to go kill Junhee. And I'm just like, your mom is right there. You really think she's going to allow that shit to happen?
Which she doesn't. And it's like down to like the last minute, I think, of the game. Maybe like less than that. And he comes across his mom and the pregnant girl. And I was like, I know he's not about to kill this girl right now, right here. Like, you see I'm like, nobody.
This dude is so weak that he specifically targets a woman, a helpless woman.
He's going to target someone weaker than him.
Yeah.
Which he's pretty weak. And I'm like, she just gave birth. I'm like, this is not how you do it. To the point where his mom had to take out her little hairpin knife shank thingy and stab him in the back because he was about to hurt her. And
that was after she offered her own life.
Yes.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Let's not, because I can't. I'm just like,
she was really gonna off herself and be like, please, just, I have lived a long life, you move on.
No, I'm like, girl, you are too useful. He's useless.
I gotta say, I love the mother, but I can see how she ended up with a son this much of a loser. She seems like someone that has overprotected him and done way too much for him. And I think she even admits that at some point. And there was a point where she even said, like, I cussed out my son and just told him, I regret ever having you as a son.
Yeah.
Which that is very fucking, that's extremely hurtful. Like, that's,
yeah.
You should not say that to someone unless you know for a fact this person is just a deadbeat, just nothing. Like, no matter what you've tried.
I mean, it was to the point where it was hurtful enough where he tried to take his life. And she took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much to their relationship, like in small moments, moments of betrayal, moments of disappointment, for her towards him, and just him with himself.
Yeah.
We don't get like a full background of their past or anything, but
just the conversations really fill it in.
You can see there's a lot of enabling. There's a lot of disappointment and pain and struggle there.
Her pointing the knife at herself, that explains that whole relationship's dynamic.
And it's just like, I don't know if she really is feeling guilty for what she said, because I feel like she's really a good person. She's really trying. Yeah. I mean, her husband was abusive to her, and her son even says that. And I can see why she is the way she is, but I just really wish that she wasn't. I'm like, you have to give up on this kid. I know he's yours, but it's just, he's not going to change.
Yeah.
Even when you're just like, you tell him, please vote for no, let's get out of the game. I will give you my cut. I don't care how much money you owe us, even though it was like, it was a lot more than that, but she was still like, I'll give you what I have, whatever.
Yeah.
She's always giving, and he can't see that. He just keeps digging the hole deeper, and it's not just himself, she's in that hole with him.
Yeah.
So the fact that she offers himself, I said, what are you doing? He doesn't deserve it. He's not worth it.
And clearly not, because she has to end up stabbing him.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't even fully kill him, because it's the soldiers that have to come and finish him off.
They have to come and finish him off. And even then, she's still begging. She's like, please, no.
That scene really broke me.
And we don't see, we just hear, we're just down the hall, and we just
hearing
her
agonizing scream.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the young sick character, I think that's how you pronounce his name, I never want anything to happen to him, because I know how much it affects the mom.
Yeah.
She lived for that child. That's a fucking mother right there. As flawed as she is sometimes, you could see how dedicated she is.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just with him, with other characters as well,
with Jun Hee, with Ji-hun,
yeah,
Hyun-ju, like, she was a mother to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, she really was, and it was just really heartbreaking, and I was so upset for her. I was just like, why couldn't he just kill somebody? Like, as much shit talking as
there's a bunch of shitty people out there that you could have picked one.
There's so many, and I mean, even before they switched, because she was the one that had the knife first, and I think he had the key, and I was like, okay, he's gonna do what he needs to do. He's gonna step up, and then he couldn't do it, and that was really disappointing, and
Again, more bleakness. I was really hoping for them to mend the relationship. They were teasing a sort of improvement in the relationship by the end of the last season. That gets cut down short. They decide, nope, this guy's gonna be a piece of shit through and through. I'm like, great, more depression. But wait, there's more. Because then the old lady, Gumja, I think is her name, we learn later on she takes her own life before the next game for jump rope. Yeah. And this was right after she had a conversation with Ji-hun about encouraging him to please protect Jun-hee and her baby. Like, there's really not that many people left. I've already tried begging these people to vote the opposite way.
Yeah, she said she'd give them her money.
Yeah,
whatever,
that monologue she did was, again, heartbreaking. Her just breaking down and crying, knowing that they still kept fucking voting to continue the games. And Ji-hun still wasn't listening to her, and he only gets motivated to try again after she sees that she hung herself at the bed frame. And I'm just like, what is this show doing to me right now? Jesus Christ. This is only like within 2 episodes, I think. I think this happens in the span of 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know. How did you feel when we saw that scene? I need a break. I need a break.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, I was just waiting for everybody to die.
Yeah.
Like, I was really just,
it's not going to stop.
I just felt like she didn't need to do that. We already lost one of our favorite characters. And now,
just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. And now she's gone. And I don't know if it's just the guilt of, basically killing her son, though she didn't really do it, and it wasn't her fault at all. They were on different teams, and he couldn't get done what needs to get done.
Yeah.
And it just didn't matter. And that was the fact of these games this whole time that she knew. So I just kind of, I don't know, I really hated that for her. And I'm surprised that was a wake up call for Ji-hoon to help protect this girl and her baby. I don't know, I just keep thinking there was another way. There was another way for a lot of things that progressed through the end of this season, and we just didn't get that. Like I said, it just bleak and hopeless.
Yeah.
And I just kept feeling like, well, what's the point? What's left? What's left except these idiots that want to stay in the game? I don't care about them.
It's a majority of assholes that are left over.
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, okay, you killed two of the remaining favorite characters that we had, and now we have a new mom with a broken ankle. And then the
baby.
guy that was, and then a baby, yeah. Well, as you said, new mom, and and then a guy who was trying to save everybody at the beginning, and like we're down to like 30 people.
Yeah. There's really not much to do left other than just play the game.
Yeah, I said, what can this girl possibly do at this point? She can't do anything. And what's the next game?
Jump rope.
Like what?
We see her trying to practice her jumps too, and then you see she can't even handle the impact on her good leg because it's shocking her bad one.
Yeah, it's shocking her bad one. She just gave birth, so her body isn't like even
close to recovered.
Like,
but at least one of the soldiers feeds the baby later with a bottle.
Oh my god!
She has to bring the baby to the game. You can't just leave her in the fucking in the fucking bed. It's like, no, I gotta take her with me. This game is so fucking sadistic.
It really is.
They really do not give a fuck.
I just really feel defeated and hopeless, and like everything is pointless.
Yeah.
Is that how we were supposed to feel?
I don't want to feel that because then, what's the point of following this story anymore? Because during Jump Rope, as intense and as fun as that game was to watch, there was really no one else to root for except Ji-hoon and Junhee and the baby. There's really nobody else after that because we got this psychopath player number 96 who, when he makes it across, he starts shoving people to their deaths.
He's like, "You're almost there. Come on, I got you." And I was
then he has the nerve to turn to Ji-hoon and be like, "Yeah, if we keep picking them off, we can share all the spoils." And I'm just like, this is what we're left with. This is who we're supposed to be helping. Yeah, there's really nobody else left.
And then he took so long. Didn't he let like two more people?
He let so many people get pushed before he decided to kill him and throw him off the map.
This is what I'm just not.
And he did it in self-defense. He had to do it because he was covering to make sure that 96 doesn't do that again. He gets attacked, and the only reason he kills this guy is because it's out of self-defense. Instead of just shoving this guy preemptively and be like, "I'm not even bothering to deal with you. You're a sociopath." I don't understand it. It just further made the show feel pointless. I'm just like, there's nobody else to save. Clearly, Junhee is not going to make it on that fucking leg. We're running out of time. We're like 2 minutes left.
And he's planning to go back over there. I'm like, first, you need to make sure you bounce over there. And then I'm like, what is the plan once you get? And I'm like, is your turn forfeited if you go back over there?
Yeah.
Because you made it over there and now you're going back. It was completely pointless. And she saw that. I mean, she knew that at some point because her stupid baby daddy was just like, "Come, I'll help you." She's like, "What, you gonna carry me over there?" And he didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was like, they said you just had to make it across. I was like, can't you just like dangle from the edges and like
shimmy on the side?
But I was just like, she just gave birth, and if she
does not
wasn't,
have the upper
I was like,
body
does she have the upper body strength for that? And I'm talking as if I do too. Like, fuck, I'm out of shape. So I was just like,
I can do 10 pull-ups, but even then, it's not the same as doing this Mario versus Donkey Kong map over here. Yeah, because
I was just like, it's swinging right above the little bridge thing that is broken in the middle, and I was like, I don't know. We got to figure out something, but we're too busy waiting for somebody to go first. That stupid asshole, number 100. He's just like, "Come on, let's go." And then just like, "Well, why don't you go first?" I'm like, it was terrible. Then we get across. Ji-hoon gets across with the baby.
Yeah.
Then we got the 96 comes across pushing people. We wasted so much time, and I was, it was pointless.
And then once again, somebody else dies, and it's Junhee.
Yeah.
She decides to just go ahead and jump and sacrifice herself. She's asking him to promise to just keep the baby safe. Mm-hmm. And I don't, at that point, I just felt numb. I didn't even feel sad because I'm still processing 2 other deaths. And then this was just predictable. There's no way that he was going to have time to go back for her and the baby.
And figure out how to get her.
So I was waiting for the inevitable to happen. And sure enough, it happens. And again, I'm disappointed in the show. I'm angry at it. I'm like, why are we doing this?
But it's funny. It's like you knew it was hopeless, but there was also the hope that maybe, just maybe, that stupid cop on the boat would infiltrate the island and get there. I felt like that's what I was waiting for. Every time, like from the moment we lost Tall Girl, or even before that, I'm hoping that he would come, find the damn island, and stop
But
this.
no, they want to draw out this subplot because...
Which you keep forgetting about.
Yeah, because it's really not that entertaining. And it could be very powerful because it's directly involved with the Squid Games itself. But no, they just keep meandering with this stupid subplot. And this whole investigation of this fucking boat captain, and I'm just like, what do we do? What is the point of this character? Like, what Junho has like the potential to have a really compelling story with him being brothers with the game master.
Yeah,
and they're just doing nothing with it. They're just dragging this shit out.
Like end of what, season 1? He shot you off a cliff. You survived. Now you're here looking for it. Okay, you wasted all of season 2 looking for the island. It's season 3, episode 1. You found the island. Find the island. Like, I'm not understanding.
Why are we not infiltrating this place by now?
Yeah.
Taking soldiers one by one, getting closer to saving these people.
That's
if the rebellion wasn't
going to
work, then do this. But no,
Nope.
We can't depend on the cops either. So
now we're down to Ji-hoon and a baby.
Oh my god, and just a bunch of assholes at this point. And before the next game, In-ho, the game headmaster, invites Ji-hun to have a conversation with him, reveals himself, and they waste that too.
Yeah,
there's like no real in-depth conversation.
I was like, hurry up, man. Just.
Yeah, we just see Ji-hun getting like really angry, but then there's like no in-depth conversation. I'm like, you were my friend. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, then flashbacks of In-hoon basically like he was in the game.
Yeah.
He was in the game. He had to kill people. He was given a dagger to kill people, and he did it. And he's expecting Ji-hoon to do that too, to save the baby, to save himself.
I'm like, sir, why do you care about this baby? You are a sociopath. I'm surprised you stopped in your heels for a baby right now.
But it's weird because it's a lot of he's fascinated by Ji-hoon and his
determination
to save everybody.
Yeah.
But also he kind of wants to like taint that and just destroy it and say like, see, we're all the same, we all deserve this, or this is just humans. This is what we do. And I feel he's conflicted because I feel like he also wants to see Ji-hoon succeed, but the only way he can succeed is by being just as bad as everybody else, by killing, you know. And I feel like this show is trying to do or say a lot of things, and I just hate all of it. Because
it feels conflicting. Because
it's conflicting for sure.
I think that's the main reason why the baby was this development in the plot. Because I think a newborn child that is not yet guilty of any sins is probably the only thing that could wake up In-ho and be like, fuck, I'm gonna have to stop this game somehow. Like, even I feel some sort of guilt because his whole philosophy is all humans are trash, we are all evil, we're all capable of doing the worst things. But he doesn't take into account of a baby being in the games. That kind of changes things up. But it's
when
also
y'all
like,
recruited the pregnant girl, what did you...
Yeah, I'm just like, you knew what you were doing. Like, you knew that she was gonna be in labor like any day now. So it's like, you didn't think to leave her off and pick someone else?
Yeah.
So that it wouldn't emotionally compromise you and your philosophy? So that was kind of frustrating to watch because they don't have an in-depth conversation and really explore each other's characters because it's two philosophies going up against each other. They don't milk that. He just tells them like, yeah, go kill them in their sleep, which I was actually in support of because I do not care for these assholes.
Yeah.
Yes, murdering people is very bad, but in context, it changes things because if that is your only out with a newborn baby and you want to make sure you don't put this baby at risk for the next game, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be the one to be like, yeah, sorry guys.
And these are all like players that were just the like hours before trying to kill the baby.
Because they were mad that the baby was a contestant and that
Now, yeah.
she'd be taking money too.
Because they thought, okay, 222 is dead, so why hasn't the pot gone up? Like,
yeah.
And they're just like, oh yeah, the baby's a player.
They were
like,
outraged.
222 is right there, and they're just like, what?
They were really gonna gang up on him up against the wall
and kill the baby. And it's so funny because in stories, it's always just like, kids are the future. We have to leave this place better, you know, for the kids of the future. And I'm just like, no. I mean, I always hated that children are the future and stuff.
That trope is getting really tired.
It's been tired for me for like ever. Like,
yeah.
When I really sat down with it, I was just like, how can you possibly say that when we're just destroying the world and we're awful and hateful and just wicked? And it's like, but children will fix this, so
and
let's put them in there.
Yeah, I'm not saying not to save the baby, but that trope is really tired when you've already set up a rebellion that would have been perfect. That is what we need. We don't need a future. I'm tired of waiting for the future. I want the change right now. I want people to come together and make the change right now so that the future does not have to fight for their fucking lives. Because you're setting up this baby to just do the exact same thing later on. Like, this baby is not going to change the future in a drastic way. It's not going to save the world from capitalism. It's most likely going to end up back in the games if it doesn't have the resources that it needs.
Season 4.
Well, by the end of the season, we see that the baby will be perfectly fine. But just, I hate that idea being inserted here in this show where now we have to just make sure this baby is safe for the future, because I'm just like, the people that died previously, they deserved a future. Even the old lady, doesn't matter how much life she had left in her, they all deserved like happiness and freedom from death.
Plus, the baby's gonna grow up rich, so like,
she might end up being a headmaster. I don't know.
Yeah, she could be a headmaster, or she's gonna grow up and have questions about her parents. She's gonna do some digging. She's gonna find some information, and then this will never end. So I'm just like, we should have just ended it here, you know? But no, no.
And that's why I'm really mad that the rebellion didn't go through. That should have been like the tail end of this story, but instead we get this. So Ji-hun basically has to survive the rest of the game with a baby. And it still makes for great entertainment. It's still like very stressful and like intense to watch, but the entire time I'm just like, I don't like the story behind it.
And I was really frustrated that he barely spoke. Like, there was a lot of conversation between the rest of the players and what to do, and he kind of just stood there. He was like awkwardly there for like the remainder
just silent
of and I
because
don't know.
I think he knew that there's no getting through these people anymore.
That's true.
I think that was part of it, which again, that doesn't mean it's not frustrating to watch. Still, it was still infuriating to watch.
I mean, the couple times that he did speak, he did like put doubt into that group's like, you know, little group, but I just I don't know.
And then we get led into the final game, Squid Game, which I think is supposed to parallel the first Squid Game that's like on the floor and at the end of season 1.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. So it's basically knocking people off the platform.
Yeah.
But this time when you fall off, you are actually falling to your death.
Yeah.
So a nice little clever way to tie off everything and connect everything from the beginning. But as intense and entertaining as it was to watch, I was infuriated once again with seeing these assholes trying to kill Ji-hun and trying to pick off anybody that was a weak man in their group. I don't know. How did you feel watching that whole game where Ji-hun is just trying to protect the baby?
I mean, how many guys do we have? We had like 5.
It was like 5 or 6
like
or something.
The douchiest guys left. I'm like, great, you guys survive. And then Minsu.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, the coward that let the girl die because he was just like a coward when it came to Thanos and stuff. And I was surprised he was able to kill that shaman witchy lady that was had her little cult and stuff.
That's because he was tripping balls.
Yeah, I know. He just became an addict. That's like what
That's
happened.
his character growth.
Yeah.
He became addicted.
And that's what basically got him killed in this game too.
Yeah.
It was so funny. He started to hallucinate. He saw Thanos hanging over the edge. Then he saw the other guy, Thanos wannabe. And he's just kicking air. And you were over there laughing.
I was dying. I'm like, I already know his group is gonna pick him off.
Yeah, I'm just like, even if he wasn't doing that, he was already seen as like a weaker player, a weaker man. So I knew he was gonna get picked off. But I don't know, the group that was left, they were just like some of the worst of the players.
Just to varying degrees. There's just different levels of shitheads.
It was just all men. No women survived to the end of this at all. And you had just like the most toxic pieces of shits. Like I was like, how is Ji-hoon gonna win this?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't figure it out. And that's why I was like, okay, the cops are gonna come and just put an end, and then these assholes get to live. But
no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting to see how like that whole thing worked out. And
seeing the group fall apart because then they ended up being stupid and paranoid and being assholes to each other.
Yeah, so from the first platform, what was that? That was a square or something? They kill Minsu because, I mean, yeah.
He was a liability.
And then they walk over to the next one. And I like how they kept like lying to themselves and lying to Ji-hoon. They're just like, we're going to vote. We're going to vote democratically. Democrat.
They keep using that fucking word. Democratically chosen.
That don't mean shit no more. Anywhere. But yeah, they kept saying, oh yeah, we're going to vote. And it's just like, just say you want to kill the baby or Ji-hoon. Just say that. And the thing is, with the game, they pick one person. Mm-hmm. One person needs to die. But they're like, we got to separate him from the baby. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys are going to do it because he's going to put up a fight.
And they know
they're all too scared. They all act like they're big and bad. They all act like the big. And I'm like, there's 5 of you or 6. I don't know how many there was. But I'm like, there's a bunch of you. You guys are acting big and bad. You could overtake this guy. But each one's too scared to be the one to push.
Mm-hmm. They keep egging somebody else to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. To the point where that helps them like push out the weaker person in the group. Yeah. And then they make that person do it. That didn't work out for them either. It turned into a complete shit show. Everybody dies on this platform.
And they keep forgetting to press the fucking button to count the kills. And again, it's intentionally written for people to be stupid because even Ji-hoon forgets to fucking hit the button.
I don't want to talk about this.
So when it comes down to that final fight of Ji-hoon and Myung-ji, I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, how are you going to take this man out? Please, you've already killed before. You've taken 2 bodies intentionally in this season. You could do it to this guy. Just kill him. And his death, Myung-ji's death, wasn't as satisfying as I want it to be because it was like an accidental falling off this dude's ankles from the edge of the platform death. And I'm like, no, I wanted you to suffer all the way down.
Yeah.
Because he really proved himself to be the worst of like this entire group. You think that he was going to change at some point just for the baby?
He was ready to sacrifice it. He dangled his baby his own over the edge. And I just...
Insane.
Because like I said yesterday or the day before, I was just like, to me, I was thinking there's a 75-20 chance. I wasn't like 50-50. And I really thought, I was like, I felt like there was a 25% chance that he was gonna save the baby. Was it that?
Might have been less.
Yeah, and then I was just like, there's a 75% chance that he's gonna, he'll let whatever happen.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because I was like, you said you would protect your girl and the baby, and you didn't do that. And
he never truly cared. He saw them as like property.
Exactly. So I wanted something worse to happen to him. I don't know what, but this wasn't it. And I wasn't shocked, but I was just still very disgusted by this character. Yeah. And the whole time it's him and Ji-hoon fighting. I don't know, because I said and the baby.
The baby threw in a few kicks.
Yeah. I'm just like, press the button. Why isn't anybody pressing the button? Somebody's going to press the button. And then
nobody.
Dumbass falls. And I'm like, it's down to Ji-hoon and the baby.
I would have been like, all right, fight. Let's go Smash Brothers style. Put the CGI baby at the end here.
Oh, my God.
Get your distance. Charge.
Yeah, and then in that moment, I was just like, okay, he is going to either jump with the baby or he's going to press the button and fall.
Or maybe he'll finally be rescued by Junho and his team. That doesn't happen. They don't make it to the island still. We're down to the wire. There's like 50 seconds left. They have not even made landfall.
Yeah, they're like, let's wait for everybody to die first. And
so instead, Ji-hoon just sacrifices himself. He makes a whole monologue and speech how we were not animals, we are humans, and then humans are ... falls off the platform. And I'm watching this, man. I'm watching in disbelief. I'm like, you are not tilting backwards right now.
It's like the cop's gonna catch you.
Somebody, they're gonna blow up the wall. The wall explosion is gonna push you back onto the platform safely. Mm-hmm. But no, he actually falls to his death. And I'm just like, this is what the fuck you got off the plane for, or the train. I don't know what he was getting on at season 1 anymore. You should have kept your red hair and stayed your ass at home with your money. You came back to liberate these people and kill the games, and instead you are the one that dies. But at least you saved a one baby, one baby, one life.
And I can't even be like, you know how you would be like, okay, yeah, one life was saved of an innocent.
Which, yeah, that's just good, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, no, this was stupid. This was
the ending to this character.
Yeah. That's why I said hopeless and just disappointing.
Yeah.
Everything, it was entertaining.
Right.
All of it was entertaining. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
But this outcome, I feel like I wasted time. I feel like it was pointless. I feel like we didn't need to see this.
Yeah.
And
it really just felt like a spit in the face, because it shat on the premise of the story. In season 1, the show was all about how do you win at capitalism? What does it take to be on top of that? Mm-hmm. This season promised, how do you beat capitalism? How do you subdue it? How do you kill it? How do you stop it? Mm-hmm. That's what Ji-hun was trying to do. That was the mission, and he doesn't complete that shit. And that's finalized with him sacrificing himself.
And then talking about, oh yeah, we're not animals, we're humans. I'm just like, all them animals died before you.
You killed like 4 animals. I'm sorry, they were not human.
They killed each other. That is human. That's what animals, human. It's all the same at this point with this group, because what
I think. I don't know if this was the showrunner's intention, but it feels like it's trying to do a both sides argument where In-ho isn't right. Not all humans are terrible. Ji-hun is also not right. Not everyone is capable of being saved. It's like he's trying to say, yeah, it's both of those.
But where do we end capitalism, Alvin? Where does that come in? Because that's what I was here for.
This show was never going to give us that. And I'm just like, God, it's a fictional fucking game. Like we have so many other media of us beating capitalism in a fictional way. We've had Hunger Games. We have Avatar: The Last Airbender, Full Metal Alchemist. There's so many shows that have done it so beautifully. You could have done something here of destroying the games, but no, you want to preserve this game so that you can make more spin-offs, clearly, based on the post-credit scene.
So at this point, it's not even the games. This is Netflix.
Netflix is doing. I just don't get it, man.
I'm really disappointed. I really feel like I wasted. When did season 2 come out? Like, it's just a waste of time up until this point. Glad we got to binge it in a night and just be done with it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, this was a huge betrayal. Like, just down from like the characters and how they were treated, and then down to the themes of what it was trying to
all the
what it was trying
side
to tackle.
Stories too. Like, we didn't even talk about like the one soldier who was trying to save that guy that she saw from the theme park that she was working at.
That was a totally disconnected plot.
That was a different plot. And then she had a backstory, and then he had a story. And then I was just like, how's that going to save Ji-hun and the baby and all my other friends? And it didn't. This guy got to get saved off the island. Like, what? And I didn't see the point of it.
And then Jun-ho finally makes it onto the island, sees his brother taking the baby, and they do the exact same.
Why?
The exact same. Why? Just like literally the same as the end of season 1, except this time he doesn't get shut off a cliff. They never have a resolution with these two brothers. Well, I don't think we even get a full backstory of their history and relationship.
I was just like, why is... What?
This is like getting the Sasuke and Itachi plot and never ever resolving.
I mean, the guy that's the headmaster or whatever you call him. He was, I forget what show he was on, and he like hinted at a possible prequel or whatever. I don't know if he was joking and if it would have been him.
No,
but
no, it's too late.
That's why they put his little flashback. If this is his brother, how did they end up in this situation?
Squid Game In-ho. I don't want that.
Yeah, but I just...
So many unresolved threads.
So many. I would have liked to know their story. And who knows, I'm probably going to get what I want with some prequel type shit. Yeah.
We had the VIP members. We didn't even talk about those pieces of shit and how their audio dubbing was great. And the acting was amazing.
Why they do that? Why they do that? Why couldn't they just talk?
I put bet on this player 222. Like, I shouldn't have done that. I was too drunk.
What is that weird Siri voice that everybody uses on their videos and stuff? That's what it sounded like. I just
It sounded like fucking AI. I'm just like, why? The VIP member scenes added nothing.
They talk so weird. I couldn't tell if like the Squid Games and that whole world was actually just like a little bubble video game that they were watching, or if they were the little bubble video game. It was weird. I hated it. Their dialogue was so stupid. It didn't match at all. And I was just like, is this supposed
to be...
to
the story at all?
Is this supposed to be them so out of touch with how filthy rich they are? They can sit and watch people kill themselves. It's like...
We already know this. We saw them in previous seasons. We don't need to see it again.
And it's funny because they get to interact with the game. I'm like, this is not a fucking video game. They were sickening, but more I was annoyed with how they executed these characters to look, to talk, just to behave. Like, it's already... The rich are already sickening and disgusting. Like, that's... I get that. But this, I was just annoyed with what they did. I was like, what is this weird dubbing? Like, it was bothering me so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, I thought I was alone in that shit. And
I thought something was wrong with the TV. I was like, fix the soundbar, Alvin. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, because I remember it was kind of wonky in previous seasons, but here it stood out even more with the audio dubbing. I just don't get it. And ultimately, their scenes added nothing, no new context that we didn't already know about rich people in these games. I didn't care about that.
They get away.
Everybody gets away. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody dies. They're free to roam around. And it doesn't help that we get a freaking end credit scene where In-ho is in California trying to make things right with Ji-hun's daughter.
Oh, yeah. He drops off some of his belongings and then
he has the nerve to bring a bloody jumpsuit. I'm just like, what are you doing?
She's going to be like, what is this? And is this how the games continue? Because then she's just like, I got to investigate this.
Avenge my dad.
Same thing with the baby, too. When he drops the baby off with his brother.
Insane. Here, yeah. I'm sorry.
And make sure she has this tracksuit that says 222 on it so she could wonder what this means. I was like, is her dad's one
money.
In there?
Here's the blood money.
Here's the money. And I was just like, wait, what? I don't... I'm sorry. Yeah, all that was really stupid. And I mean, I felt really bad thinking about like Ji-hun and his daughter, how he never got to like
make amends.
Yeah, mend that relationship with her. Because as soon as she's like, oh, is this about my dad? She's like, I don't care. I don't want to talk to him. He's just like, well, he's dead. You could see
so
that there was
now.
Yeah, she did. She was just like, huh.
Yeah.
And there was never anything there too. I mean, at the beginning of season 2, I think he calls her and she kind of just like hangs up on him, or he doesn't say anything.
Yep.
So
that never gets tied up.
I was like hoping that maybe, but everybody dies. And then when In-hoon is driving, we see a recruiter, an American recruiter, a Kate Blanchett recruiter.
Slapping some paper,
slapping some guy, and then she just looks at him, and it's just like
sequel.
Yeah,
right. Sequel, prequel.
That's why I said
reboot-quel.
Squid Game America, Squid Game South Africa, Squid Game Australia, Squid Game France, Spain, Squid Game Love Island. Like, it's just. I'm like,
that's the final shot. That's the end.
It.
We see that everybody gets away with it. The games continue, but at least some people get some money and a baby. That's what this whole show led up to.
I think the only good thing about it is that the cop's hot friend didn't die. That fine man, and that's it.
That's your consolation prize,
I guess. Yeah, because when the stupid captain, who from season 2, I was just like, he's in on this.
You sus.
He's in on this. It's just you've been for what? Has it been years?
Like 2 years they were looking for the island.
You've been looking for an island, and I don't know. I think
ain't no way you missed it. There's only so many islands.
And he's like, oh, I don't know, and the currents are really bad, and he's like, well, this
in
is
my
the guy
glaucoma,
that saved
you know
me. This is the guy that saved. So what? Did you ever question why he saved you? And then we have the guy, I forget what his name is, who was suspicious. He's just like, yeah, I
the
saw him
loan
with a
shark
screwdriver.
guy.
Yeah, he's like, I saw him with a screwdriver, and he's like, no, he's like, he was probably just fixing the boat. I'm like, you
at 2 a.m.
I'm like, aren't you like a detective or something? Like, what are you? Like, this is stupid. Again, cops useless, and they even say that multiple times, and they're useless and they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
It's okay. We're at the end. I think that was everything.
Yeah, it's everything. I'm disappointed. I was not expecting it to take this turn. I really just feel like our time was wasted. Yeah, it's just a big waste of time, and it was all pointless. Ji-hoon's whole purpose for going back into games was pointless. And I mean, yeah, if this was real, that's the risk. That, you know,
but this is a show. Our escapism.
Yeah,
we could do interesting new things, defy reality a little bit.
Because every time I'm just like, what's the point? Every time someone that I actually cared about died, I was like, well, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? We get down to it. Ji-hoon and the baby sacrifice. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, what is the point? And I don't feel like there's any deeper meaning or just some regular commentary that people want to put out there and like remind us about. I didn't feel that. And even if I did see that, I was just like, that's stupid. I don't care. Do something different. You know,
Yeah. This show should have been injected with hope, because there's already a dark show to start off with season 1. And for it to get even bleaker and just more mean-spirited and just kicking us while we're down by killing off characters consistently, by killing the main premise and the theme of saving people from these games and stopping the games, being a metaphor of pushing back and stopping capitalism. And we're just supposed to be like, yeah, no, this is inevitable.
Yeah.
This is it. No. Especially for the times that we're living in at this point, where pretty much everybody, even the people that are the least politically conscious, are still being so affected that they have no choice but to be aware of like, this is not helping right now. I can see how the showrunner didn't have any ideas past season 1, and I don't fully blame him. Like, he's an artist. He wants to live his truth as an artist. This was his only chance with Netflix, but he was really caught in a corner here with trying to come up with new ideas and just coming up with something so depressing and so like pointless. I don't know if he was trying to make some meta commentary of being like, fuck Netflix for putting me in this situation, so I'm gonna make everyone feel like shit.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like is going on here. I'm probably wrong, but that's my headcanon. But this show was just not good. I count this as part of the last season, so this whole new story after season 1, it's hot trash. I don't like it. Despite creating so many likable, awesome characters and really awesome, entertaining games, I can't rate this higher than a Salty Spud. It was so infuriating to watch.
Yeah.
Specifically, the Squid Game 3 was the most painful shit to go through. And I'm just like, I need to go watch, like, I don't know, Teletubbies or something to scrub my brain a little bit.
I think there's a hidden meaning in Teletubbies that you won't like either.
Yes,
so,
you're right. Sorry, Barney the dinosaur. He's not creepy yet, right?
No, he's definitely creepy.
I need to binge watch some kids' media that's healthy. I can't do this anymore. I'm giving this a Salty Spud. I can't do this anymore.
Wow. Gosh, I'm just going up and down the list.
You gave me a grade before recording. Now you changing your mind?
I think I'm going to give it a baked potato.
Okay, so you're still giving it an overall.
That's what I gave season 2.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I will give. It was entertaining, but I'm still not happy. I'm not happy with the story, and I don't know if I can... You can say it was entertaining, but not happy with the story. Those can happen at the same time, right?
Yeah, those are two contradictions that exist in this show.
Okay. What do we do? What do we watch? What do we watch next?
Let us know what to watch next, please.
What's gonna make me happy? I hope they won't do any Squid Game spin-off. America, South Africa, Spain, France.
I think you already just named all the ideas that you gave to Netflix earlier. You just gave it to them.
I'm sorry, guys.
They already did a reality show, so they might as well keep going.
Oh my god, yes! Yes,
they ironically did,
because people were actually like getting hurt
and being treated like shit.
Yeah, okay.
So that's it. Those are our ratings: a Salty Spud and a baked potato. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Did you like this show? Did you hate it? Do you feel in between? Do you have beef with us and our takes? If so, do that respectfully, or else I'll push you off the platform. Yes. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, hit notification bells. Make sure to share with your enemies, your teammates, your game master, and your newborn CGI baby.
Yes. That's a pretty good CGI baby.
It was better than Renesmee.
Oh, yes. And that Hunger Games baby, too.
That too, I don't understand that. You couldn't borrow somebody's baby off the set for 2 seconds.
I get it. It's the Squid Games. Baby shouldn't really be there, but it's not real. The baby could be.
And with that, we would like to thank you guys for watching and tuning in. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.